Hola, how are ya? How is it going? I hope you're doing well. So today, let's look into Jodi Huisentruit. She is a news anchor from Iowa. 25 years ago, she disappeared. Apparently without a trace. No one's been able to find her. There's been no clues. It doesn't really seem like the police did a very good job in the beginning with, sealing up her apartment, and I don't know. It just seems like it all got bungled. And there's a couple of suspects out there, and we'll look into them. And first I'm going to start it off with, let me just shuffle these real quick so we're ready for that. I want to see if we can get the story of what happened that day to Jodi, because she was running late for work. And she had the morning news shift, so off the top of my head, I don't remember how early she had to be into work. But, she was very devoted to her job. She was so excited. She was looking, I believe, to move to a bigger market. Maybe that was in Minnesota. I'm not sure. Seems like that's the right thing. Right place. Either way, so this woman just disappears. So let's see if we can figure out more about what happened when Jodi disappeared. All right, so Jodi, tell us what happened when you disappeared. All right, so she felt like she was coming up to a crossroads in her life, right? Her star was shining bright. And she's coming up to a crossroads, and I think that was about do I want to move into this new city? It's a larger market, that kind of thing. And this card here came up quite quickly. It is not the actual death card, but it is a card it's a Four of Pentacles, but it is a card that I have taken for in the past as, someone's passing. But I'm not, the way that I'm getting this is that this was, someone already had their eyes on her, and this was a plan. So whoever did this, planned this, this is hunting her like prey. Okay. And there's some type of ritualistic type thing to it. Okay. So then we have this guy. He's kind of a loner guy, or there's something odd about him guy. He's if you saw him, if you saw him in the neighborhood, you'd be like, "Hi, Joe." And then you'd say, "Don't ever talk to Joe." To your little kids or something. It's just something's wrong with Joe. I don't know. I don't know that his name's Joe. I'm just generic names here. Joe, gosh, that's so weird. Why did that come up? Ed Gein popped in my mind. Just kind of an oddball kind of guy. Joe seems to do shady stuff. He does odd stuff. He does shady stuff. So he has gotten the attention of law enforcement before. Before this, they already knew, keep an eye on Joe. Something ain't quite right with him. Okay, so this feels like she was kind of aware that she knew of this guy. She was aware of this guy. She knew he was kind of weird. He would tell her weird stories. He'd share weird stories with her. And I think she was starting to be like, no, No, you need to, no, I'm not into this. Yeah, this was like, she was thinking these are weird stories, these are weird actions, this is a weird guy, I need to get away from him. I'm looking to this job in the bigger market, and this is like, I could possibly be making more money, I can move up in my career, it's an advancement, it's a new opportunity, I'm looking forward to this. But she was trying to, she had brought this up to him before, but she, about moving, and he wasn't so keen on it. And so she was trying to like bring it up and trying to figure out a way to keep bringing it up to like let him know, like he either wanted to dismiss the conversation, or he was like we don't need to talk about that now, or like, why would you want to go and do that? You're so beloved here. You're a star. Everybody here loves you. Why would you leave all this? And so then she's starting to think like, well, alrighty, Joe, you're getting a little weird. I'm going to have to sever this relationship. Okay. People in town were talking about this relationship. They're kind of like, why is she hanging out with him? He's weird. And again, she wants to get away from him, but I think there's something that might have like blinked in her head, popped a light bulb, something kind of like, be careful with this guy. She had seen something that made her take notes. There's something like there's just a small thing that blink, watch out for him. Because at first she was like, okay, but now it was like something more weird with him. I need to get away with him. But there was something like she was pausing before she was like going to go seek after this new opportunity in the other city. I don't know if there was a contract already presented to her, or she was just hoping, but it wasn't a done deal, so she wasn't quite going to be on her way out, okay? But she already had eyes on, she knew who this guy was. She knew who was after him, or after her. She knew who was after her. He was stalking her. He wanted a romantic relationship with her. Yeah, and he wanted a romantic relationship with her, and the way she rebuffed him is like, no, that wouldn't be proper. No, that's not proper. Almost like, this sounds silly to say, but almost like, well, we're not married, and, you know, we don't have that kind of relationship. Just whatever she could to make him, like, back off these romantic ideas. He was like, you know, we're the best of friends. We are the best of friends. And now this is her, like, I gotta get out of Dodge. I gotta get out of Dodge. And she started to see that she was becoming the focus of him and his weird fantasy stories. I don't know. It feels like he started opening up to her, and she started seeing things that she was not happy with or scared by. There was things that just frightened her. She's not. And so, yeah, she's just like, okay, we have to close this chapter. No more. No, we're not doing this anymore. Okay, so as soon as she told him we're closing this chapter, this is when we start into the death phase here. Okay, so this is... He had the money to have some type of setup where, I don't know if he did this before, or this was just like he just planned to do this at some point and had been, you know, planning this for a while, but it feels like he took her somewhere, and he was acting out his fantasies, whatever these fantasies were, right? He's acting out these fantasies. She's a part of some weird ritual thing he's doing, and he had the money to do this. He wanted to give her. She was obviously not complying, and I think he tried to drug her. She didn't want it. I think he tried to like poison a drink, something. He wanted to like knock her out or something, like keep her so she, the intent wasn't like to make her, to kill her right away. It was like, I need to keep her alive because I have a whole long planned fantasy thing that I'm needing to act out with her. He had written about it. He had documented this. He's just like, I have been planning this. You are always going to be mine. You're my like soulmate, whatever. But that didn't go right. And then he killed her before he got a chance to finish his whole fantasy thing. Okay. I think he kept something of hers. I want to say he kept something of hers, and I don't know what it is. If it was a locket, hair, he kept something very personal. But so he kept something small. It was very small, very personal. Something it was quick, easy for him to hide, hold, whatever. Keep it in his pocket. Like it's something small, because he knew, they'd be looking for her because she's famous. And so this is interesting. I have this one up. This is, I'm not quite sure about this one. This one is like it makes sense when it comes up in some of my other readings, but I'm not quite sure. Unless this is just him interjecting again about parts of the ritual he wanted to do. But either way, he knew people were going to come after him. He knows I think he thinks there's some woman that knew more about this, what he was doing. There was a woman that knew more about this. He wanted to keep her. When he took his personal memento for her, he wanted to keep her forever, some part of her forever as that young, beautiful woman that he fell in love with. Okay, that's what this is saying here. And then there is some woman who got information, or he told about this. She knows. She don't want to come forward because he's obviously crazy bastard. Okay, now he's taking her somewhere. Again, it comes up with money. He had a way to dispose of her body. This, I don't know what this is. He had a way of disposing her body. Like, it felt like I've got the means to expose her body using my expensive whatever. Like, he's not just a killer who takes them and just dumps them off the side of the road or something. Like, he was like going all out. Like, this was a part of the ceremony, right? And it was like, no expense spared. She's going to get the ultimate funeral, right? Yeah, no expense. I don't know. Okay, what I'm going to say, I don't know. I think this is Iowa. Is that what I wrote in my notes? Iowa. I don't know anything about Iowa. But I assume I could be wrong. Like I said, dumb American, I don't remember much about geography or anything like that. But is there like a community, like a fancy pants community on a lake? Because that feels like nothing but the best for my baby. That's what this feels like. That's what this feels like. This is a fancy, like, place that he would put her, okay? And then this woman again, she comes up. She has the key. She has the information key, but it's tormenting her. I don't know, at some point, was she also in a relationship with him? The woman with the information, was she also in a relationship with him? And that's why he told her. And then she found out after she knew what he told her. Then she's just like, he's crazy town, but I can't leave him because he is crazy town. He'll probably kill me too. Okay. All right. Again with the water. I cannot tell. Do you think that's water as well? I can't tell. I don't know. Jodi is trying to get, she's hoping that somebody's going to be able to solve this. Okay? She's hoping and hoping and hoping, because he was crazy loon. This was like, I don't think he's like a serial killer. He's a sicko, and I think he does other weird things, or he did. I don't know. But this feels like, again, into the water. There's something about when he disposed of her too. I don't know, because it feels like, again, he disposed of her, and this woman he told stuff to, she knows about it. Like, I don't know if maybe he told her where, when, I don't know. There's definitely some worry involved, but it's on a woman. I mean, maybe this is Jodi worried that no one's ever going to find her. Maybe that's what this is about. She's worried and she's hoping that somebody's going to find her. Okay. And I think we already know this. This is evidence was destroyed. There was something, there's things in the house that could have helped find her. Okay, it all comes back to this guy. And this is a thing that, like, she said that nobody found the information out of her house. There was something there in the house that she thought that was really going to help. And then we have this, like, going back to old memories and a lot of options. And these cards are about him. He's weird. He's like, oh, those good old times I had with Jodi. There's some good old times I had with her. Oh, you know, there were so many options we could have had in living our life together if only, you know, she had chosen me. And she didn't choose me, so I couldn't let her leave me. I just couldn't let her leave me. Ugh. Okay. So, I'm saying, my opinion, allegedly, she knows who this is. This guy had obsessed on her. They had some type of relationship. It was not romantic. He wanted to be romantic. And she had also told him, I'm getting ready to leave town. And I don't know what stage she was in trying to get to that other TV station. But he wasn't going to have it. So he was, no. And he had his plan, his little ritual things he wanted to do with her. He kept a personal possession of hers. And he had money to, I think she was placed in water in a lake. I don't know if they have waters or, well, they have water obviously in Idaho. Otherwise nobody would shower there. I don't know if they have lakes there. I don't know if there's a fancy pants community with lakes there. Maybe. Okay. So, one guy, obsessive. This is not like a serial killer guy. All right. So, now let's look into this. There's two suspects They said there was John Van Cise and Tony Jackson. So let's start with Tony Jackson. He was a serial rapist. His girlfriend looked just like Jodi, but he was not considered a suspect supposedly. I don't know how his name popped up beyond being in the same area. And so Tony has always denied he didn't have anything to do with Jodi's disappearance. So let's just look into this. Just clear him or put him back on the list. I don't know that he was cleared off the list. It just, my notes say not considered a suspect. I don't know. All right, Tony Jackson. Did you have anything to do, Tony Jackson, with the disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit? Tony. Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jodi? That's energy. English. The energy behind him is, transformation out with the old, in with the new. It's like, I know it says death card, but I'm not feeling like he's the guy. I'm not feeling like he's the guy at all. Okay, so he just feels like, I don't have anything to hide. I cooperated. I'm happy with, that I'm not a suspect because I cooperated. I have nothing to hide. I have my own problems. I got my own stuff going on, but this is the last thing I need on my list. I'm clearing my name. Like, I've obviously had troubles in his past, being a serial rapist, but this was, he's like, no, I had nothing to do with this. No, I did not. Okay, so we're taking Tony Jackson off the list. All right, let's riffle-shiffle these real good. All right, so now we're going to look at, what's his name? John Van Cise. He's a friend. Okay, now this is the one. Seems like he was coming up in the cards in the story. John Van Cise says he claimed he was a father figure to her. He lived in her apartment complex. Last person to see her alive. He passed a polygraph, and he now has Alzheimer's. Okay, so John Van Cise. Go back, you flipper dipper cards. John Van Cise. Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit? John Van Cise. Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jodi? John Van Cise. It was just an interesting thing. I was calling in that energy, and it just like, no good. Okay, so energy behind him is spiritual recovery, hope returns, getting back on track, financial recovery. Don't know what that means yet. He's coming up like, this is mother figure, but if he was more of a father figure, okay, that makes sense, right? His confidence is destroyed, right? And breakup, okay? We got that in the other cards, like that she was like, I want to have a breakup, right? Dude, is he telling me his side of the story here? Because then it's like the balancing of priorities. she had a couple choices. She could stay here with me and we could build a life, but she wanted to move on. And, you know, she was like, oh, you know, you're kind of like a troublemaker, and I'm really looking at working on building my career. I want this promotion. He's like, no, I'm addicted to you. I'm not into any of this chaos, this confusion. I don't know exactly what you're doing here. Don't you realize how important this this relationship is to me? Yeah, and then he's just like sad and depressed, and you know, he's all confused, like what the hell's going on, right? And up here we have the devil card. I think that's because he has this shadow self, literally. But it's like he's obsessed with her. There's the lust, his shadow self going on. It's heartbreak. His heart is broken. He's fearing change. He's trying to avoid disaster with this. No, I cannot lose her. I cannot lose her. There's so much confusion. I don't have a right choice. It's information overload. This is not what I expected. I did not want this. There's a definite imbalance and tension now going on in our relationship. She's plotting to leave me. This is a big next step. She's going to travel. She's going to leave me. She's not going to be here. Dude, he's spiraling. There's a lack of balance, extremes. Like, no, I can't have this. I love her so much. Oh, everything's moving so fast. She just, oh, God. No, I can't have this. I can't, I don't, stop. Okay, this is again, religion, tradition. I was like, we can get married, we can have this relationship, and and she's just like, not into it. I made a mistake. Now it's into coldness, bad advice. Okay, so now it's into coldness. Okay, I brought up the relationship, like, let's get married, let's have a relationship, let's be committed, whatever. She's like, no. And then I snapped, no, you're not leaving me. This is where we get into coldness. He says, then his mind, like, switched from, I'm in this loving, I love her so much space, that now it's like, you betrayed me, we're done. Coldness, bad advice. And now we're getting into abuse of power. He's like, I'm taking the situation into my own hands. I am so disappointed that this is how this had to end up. I'm not quite sure, like, this was indecision. Here comes the materialism again. This indecision, aimless. Should I do what I want to do? Should I just make her mine forever? I mean, I'm so disappointed, but I'm not sure, do I? But I can offer you everything. It feels like there's an argument going on. Like, he keeps trying to, I'm trying to convince her, but she won't listen to me. And the more that she won't listen to me or accept my ideas as something that's true and that we could do and I could provide her this great life, she won't listen to me, and it's making me mad. It's making me mad because it's like, no, you're not doing this to me. I've been so good to you. That's what this is. Oh, I didn't even look at this one. See, I've been giving you help. And at least in his mind, he thinks he's been such a helper to her. I've been such a helper to her. Oh, and then it's like, now we're having the fight. We got conflict. And the inner turmoil, like, oh, the secrets of it. And then he gets reckless. Anger. It says he's an attention seeker. I don't know, maybe he is. Okay, and then we have the world. There's been completion. He feels like this was taking her life was a victory, right? He won. Fucking sicko. Dreams come true, fulfillment. You are never going to leave me. You are always mine forever. I have you now. This is, see? I was your Prince Charming. No point. No. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put, in my opinion, John Van Cise I think he's the one who's responsible for this. I think, looking at the cards, that seems like he was the one. He was like, you're mine. No one else is going to have you. Gosh, and that's the thing. You think about it. It's been 25 years. 25 years. If he put her into a lake or whatever, will she still be there? I don't know. I don't know. Gosh, I hope they find her. I hope they find her. Say some prayers that they find Jodi. I'm going to put information below my video. If you know any information to give to the police department to help them discover what happened to Jodi. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.